Hey Flower Tribe, it's Kelly Lehman from Cranberry Fields Flower Farm, and I wanted to show you some of my favorite hydrangeas for landscaping. So here I am in my New Jersey secret garden, and this is what this giant hedgerow of Annabelle Hydrangeas looks like in July. So they start to turn this beautiful shade of green. So they kind of started off as they almost look like broccoli when they first start coming on on the plant. They look like deep green like flowers, and they wind up turning to this poofy, creamy, beautiful white flower. And let me come in here a little bit slow. I don't want to lose my internet connection here, but they wind up turning this like really beautiful poofy white, and then eventually they wind up turning to like this green color. And this flower is actually semi-dried right now. So this makes for a terrific cut flower because it's going to be a dried flower once it sits in the vase for about a week. So if you have a vase of water and you put this in there, it's going to dry out. Hey Teresa, thanks for checking in from San Antonio, Texas. I love your comments, guys. I love when you guys are in the chat, and I love the garden questions that you've been leaving me in comments because I base most of my podcasts and my videos on the Flower Tribe's flower questions. So some Flower Tribe members have asked me, what are some great hydrangeas for my landscaping? A lot of you are new homeowners, so congratulations. So I wanted to tell you about one of my favorite ones, and this is Annabelle Hydrangea. I love this hydrangea as like a border plant. So some of you want to have like a border of flowers that either, separates you from your neighbor or from a certain section of your backyard. And so I love Annabelle because they grow really fast. They self-propagate, so you have more and more of these plants. They kind of self-propagate themselves every year. And I just keep having more and more flowers. They're super easy to maintain, and I love planting them in a spot that gets a lot of sun, like at least like 8 hours of sun, but then some afternoon shade. Because I find if they're in sunlight all day long, like all morning and all afternoon, a lot of times those flower heads get burnt off. So if you can do like, a whole bunch of morning sun and then even more sun in the afternoon, that's okay too, as long as it gets some afternoon shade later on. Hey Hannah, thanks for checking in from Ohio, from Columbus, Ohio. So this row looks great at this time of year. It's been filled with flowers probably for about a month now, and it's going to look terrific all the way through the frost. The only thing to consider if you're having this as a border plant in your landscaping is that these flower heads do dry out. I usually leave them on the actual plant, but they do turn brown, so they don't look, very pretty in the winter, and the leaves fall off. So it's more of a stickly looking hedgerow in the winter. But I have to say, and spring too, so right before the flowers come in, I'd say like May, it's still looking pretty stickly. So, keep that in mind because some people don't want to have that kind of stickly looking look. But I'm okay with it. And you can always also prune this row back at like the end of winter or early spring if you want like a really neat and tidy look. But I have to say, for the most part, I don't even prune back this row because I like to keep like last year's stems in place because they act as a support system for the new heavy floppy blooms that are in place. So I basically just, put these guys in the ground about, I forget how many years ago, maybe 15. And I just basically, once I got them established, I made sure I kept up with the water, and they've been going strong ever since. So this is one of my favorite fresh cut flowers to use for our arrangements. And like I said, that semi-dried green is the best time to cut the flower because when you cut them in that white poofy stage, sometimes they kind of flop in the vase. So guys, if you're enjoying some of my videos, if you can, give me a thumbs up. If you can, give me a comment. That would help so much. And please join me over on my new podcasts. I have links and descriptions below. And also let me know where you're viewing this from in this great, big, beautiful world. So guys, I'll take some of your questions. If you guys have any hydrangea questions or garden questions, I'll try to field a couple of those while we're out here together. I appreciate you guys showing up all the time. I love our Flower Tribe. And also hop on over to my Kelly Lehman's Facebook Flower Tribe group. Because it's called Kelly Lehman's Flower Tribe Facebook group, and there's thousands of gardeners from all over the world, and they're asking and answering loads of garden questions over there. So let's see if I can field any questions that you guys have, garden related. Kind of keep it down to a niche. Anybody else growing Annabelles or listen, Proven Winners also has a great one that's called Incredible that has even sturdier stems. Hey Z, oh, you were thinking of me? Oh, thank you. Thank you, flower friend. It's always nice to be thought of in the garden. So yeah, so Proven Winners has a similar hydrangea with beautiful flower heads like this, and the stems are even sturdier. Do I think these can be found in San Antonio? Possibly. Hey, Abby. So, Teresa, I would go to your garden center and see if they carry them. For the most part, garden centers are usually going to carry the hydrangeas that do best in your states. So, for the most part, I think, you know, the plants that you're going to find in your garden centers are the ones that should do well, because your garden centers don't want to carry ones that don't do well by you. So I would find out if they carry them, and or do like a Google search. And I have to say, I've been ordering plants online. I even order a lot. Some plants come into me from like Proven Winners that are delivered, and they come in the mail beautifully now. Like, you know, a lot of these plant companies have really nailed down this whole shipping thing. So Denise, your hydrangeas didn't bloom well this year. You know, I have an entire playlist on hydrangeas. There's like 57 videos there, and 3 of them I think are called "Why Didn't My Hydrangeas Bloom?" So you could check that out in my Kelly Lehman's playlist, because there's so many reasons why they might not have bloomed. They might have been pruned back at the wrong time of year. They may be getting too much sun. They may be getting too little sun. They may be getting too much water. They may be getting too little water, or they may have been fertilized with too much nitrogen. Sometimes there's nitrogen in lawn fertilizers, and that promotes green leaves, but it stops the blooms from coming up. Sure thing, Denise. Yeah, so those were kind of like my biggies, especially that one with the lawn fertilizer runoff. So yeah, so and don't over fertilize your hydrangeas, guys. This row of hydrangeas, I don't think I've ever fertilized them. So a lot of times if they're doing well, leave them alone, because if you over fertilize them, a lot of times you'll have those big gorgeous green leaves at the expense of the blooms. So keep that in mind. It's probably one of my #1 hydrangea tips. Cut back on the fertilizing unless your plant, you know, really needs it, or if it needs to be rejuvenated. If it's like an older plant and it hasn't given you blooms in a couple years, then you might want to give it a fertilizer, and then you might also want to prune it back at the right time of year. But for the most part, I hardly ever prune back my hydrangeas, and I hardly ever fertilize them, because I feel like those are 2 of the biggies why people don't get their blooms. So, all right, guys. Well, listen, I have a great day, and I will see you guys in the next video. And I just put like 5 quick hydrangea tips on my Instagram channel, and it's the Cranberry Fields Instagram channel, and that gets carried over to Facebook too. And I'm going to start posting those on TikTok also. So hopefully you can find me wherever you like to like watch your videos, and also on Pinterest. So all those are in descriptions below. And guys, I will see you all in the next video. Oh, and you can check out my new online flower courses too. Those are also in descriptions below. I would love to see you over there. See you later, Flower Tribe.